At this Oatly party thing, I learned that a less taxing life on this planet can be an easy thing. Just start with anything, like a coffee drink made with this oat-based thing that might inspire you to change another thing, and when more people do that changing thing, maybe we can change everything. Okay, find out more at oatly.com and let's get on with this podcast thing. All right, welcome to the coffee show on tour, everyone. So we are on tour here in first stop Berlin, Germany, and my guest is Toby Weedon. Welcome to the coffee show.
Hey, thank you.
So what is your title? So you're working for
Oatly. I'm working for Oatly. My title is Barista Development Director, which means nothing. But basically, I lead the global team of barista market developers who we have all over the world. And then I also lead the drinks development part of the business, which is quite a new thing that we're working on. So I get to straddle both of those worlds.
It's interesting. We were talking off air. I'll unveil something first. So Oatly's coming on board as a sponsor of the coffee show. So, we love that.
Yay.
Thank you, Oatly. Here's to Oatly. Buy some Oatly.
Yes, yes, please. Please buy some.
No, but it's good because my model for this is to, and I was talking to Majid, new executive producer Majid.
Big up Majid.
Who basically my approach is I don't want people to have to pay on Patreon to listen to this because, if there's a barista in Colombia or a barista in the Philippines or whatever, I want their only barrier to this is having access to the internet. Yeah. So, my model is to not have Patreon. So having sponsors and important sponsors is good for us because then we can reach more people. And that's ultimately what I want out of this. So, so kudos to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
But we were talking off air just before about kind of how you guys started because oat milk 7 or 8 years ago wasn't really a thing in coffee. And it's had kind of like a meteoric rise. So can you talk us through that?
I often describe us as a 30-year overnight success story.
Yeah.
So Oatly launched in Sweden in the early 90s. It was founded by a food scientist called Rickard Oster, for those that are interested.
Swedish name.
It's very Swedish, yeah. But he's a food scientist. He basically was looking for a non-dairy alternative for people with lactose intolerance. He was big in the lactose intolerance world, basically back in the 90s, and ended up founding Oatly. It was a science project, I think, or a science research project that got out of hand that ended up with an entire brand and company. And Oatly was plugging along in Sweden, southern Sweden, for some time, kind of just doing what Oatly was doing back at that time. But then in 2012, took on a new CEO, a guy called Tony Peterson, who had come from the restaurant world and the fashion world and had done some stuff in Costa Rica and had seen the effects of climate change kind of firsthand, and then found this oat milk brand that were looking for a new CEO. And he came in to try and make Oatly a thing that was much bigger than it was at the time, because as a plant-based milk alternative, we are much better for the environment. I mean, broadly, our products produce 50 to 80% less CO2e emissions than the dairy equivalents. So he comes in, and then 2015-ish, we launched Barista Edition, which was the first ever coffee stable dairy alternative. At the time, I was working in coffee. I was using a lot of bonsai, which as a soy milk, great. It was the best that we had at the time, and discovered this oat milk and was like, damn, we need this.
It really just elevated so quickly, right? It just came out of nowhere, and then it was on every bar, and people really, really enjoy it. And I guess it's definitely, it has to be the number one sold alternative milk globally, right? For coffee.
Yeah, I think so. I think we have the benefit, of being the most broadly globally sold dairy alternative brand. Like we are in a lot of markets.
But in terms of like market share of alternative milks, let's say like sales of alternative milk lattes, like oat milk would be clearly number one.
Oh, oat milk, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oat milk is massive. But before 2016, 17, when we really started launching Barista Edition, oat milk was not a thing in coffee at all. There was lots of soy, lots of almond. There was like a very tiny bit of coconut floating around. But yeah, oat milk just wasn't a thing. And then Oatly came in, and yeah, we've changed the game. I think like the oat flat white was a massive phenomenon that we were a part of, which was cool.
I always find hot chocolates are the best with oat milk as well. Like let's not just park it with coffee. Like if you have an oat milk hot chocolate, extra bit of nuttiness, and it's interesting, kind of in I guess specialty coffee contemporary history. Let's just say, like it had a bit of a blockade at the World Barista Championships, and now obviously oat milk's accepted at the World Barista Championship level, and it's used as well. Last year's winner had oat milk in his signature in his milk course. So he combined whole milk with some oat milk and I think macadamia or something. Yeah. But I tried a coffee the other day from the Australian competitor Jack Simpson, who had oat milk in his milk blend, and it tasted fantastic. And then there are of course people that just straight up use oat milk as well.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. It's a big thing for us. The moment that the rules changed to allow oat milk to be used by competitors, for us was massive. There was a period where we really felt that like the restrictiveness of the rules didn't necessarily represent the people competing, because a lot of baristas now consume, they're maybe not fully plant-based or fully vegan, but consume a lot more plant-based milks than 10, 15 years ago. So yeah, it's cool that the competitions now reflect that as well.
Yeah, it's good and makes better drinks as well.
I think so.
Like I drink every kind of milk, but like when you can play around like that, you can really tailor things to be really amazing. So that's worked out well. But one of the things I think I'm most excited to talk to you about today was so I was interviewed by one of your staff members in Australia recently for what you're calling the Future of Coffee report.
Yes.
And basically you guys are having a really in-depth look at what the future of coffee looks like for, say, the next 5 years. Some trends current, some trends emerging, what could be big. And we were talking about just before, there are 5 key trends. Do you want to go through those now?
Can I actually rewind a bit and we'll talk about how we ended up in this position? And then because I think the trends producing a trend report is way beyond anything that I ever thought would ever be possible at Oatly and within the role that I first joined Oatly to do. And I think it really helps explain the context of how we ended up here, basically. But like we're now a global company. At the time when I joined, we were a small Swedish company, and the steps we've gone through in order to get to this point have been a hell of a journey. But we're obsessed with coffee and the coffee industry, and a big part of the work that I've done over the last 10 years is to build this team of coffee professionals all over the world. You've met Ryan in Melbourne. There's a couple more in Australia, but we have a team of 60 all over the world who act like kind of the scouts. They're the eyes and ears for Oatly of what's happening on the ground, and kind of seeing things as they're happening. And over the last couple of years, the conversation of like signature drinks has been slowly creeping more and more into the conversations that we're having. I mean, like hot coffee's not going anywhere, but signature drinks is definitely, there's more variance, there's more variety of what we're seeing out in the world. So we have this team of 60 who are an incredible resource of people. The stuff that they're seeing, they understand the industry because they are from the industry. And so we've taken all of the knowledge, all of the things that they're seeing and hearing, and started to compile that together ourselves and start to use that to build our strategies and our approaches to things to make ourselves more intelligent. But then we've kind of hit this point of like, oh, we have access to so much knowledge and like kind of data through this team that we decided to build this Future of Taste report. So then the BMD team, Bristol Market Developer team, spent some time conducting interviews. We did over 200 interviews of shop owners or influential people or people that we figured would have an opinion on what the future might look like for coffee. And then we worked with a third-party culture lab to take all of those interviews, compile all of that data, input a bunch more kind of knowledge and insight from social media and from the internet and whatever else they could find.
A lot of qualitative data.
So much qualitative. There's some quantitative data in there as well, from looking at Google Trends, Google search trends, and whatever as well. So there's a huge amount of qualitative, supplemented with some quantitative, and we've ended basically with five key trends of what we're seeing for the future at large. Like this is much bigger than perhaps what we are seeing or will see in the specialty space. But the specialty space is basically ground zero. It's where it all begins, where the little bits and pieces of things, the cracks and crevices of what might be possible is there. And then we've taken that and tried to expand it to give a more kind of holistic global view.
Well, shall we rattle them off now?
Let's go through the five, yeah.
All right, so do you know them off by heart? You do?
I should know them off by heart.
All right, well, I'll quiz you on it. So there's five.
Yes, I'm confident on three of them.
All right, well, I can give you
come
an
on.
assist. All right, so number one, global flavor exchange.
Yes.
So what is the global flavor exchange?
The global flavor exchange is basically the movement of different flavors happening quickly globally, and I think the internet has a huge part to play in this, and social media, and a younger consuming generation being so hooked on social media that we're starting to see interesting and new flavors move across the globe way quicker than we've ever seen happen before. Like some of the big ones that everyone's heard of, like yuzu is a big flavor that particularly in Europe just appeared out of nowhere and is making its way into lots of drinks. Matcha, I think, is a big part of that, but not to give the game away, matcha is one of the trends that we discuss more specifically. Another
Ube?
Yeah, ube. Yeah, great example. Ube is a great example. Hojicha is a...
I actually love a good hojicha.
You love hojicha?
I do. Strangely enough, like there's a coffee shop that has a signature drink in Melbourne that's like an iced hojicha latte, but with peanut cream on top.
Yeah.
That is an unreal flavor pairing.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm giving them a shout out. Overlay Coffee in Melbourne. If you ever go, get that iced hojicha peanut cream thing. It's like, it's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
It is so goddamn good.
I find hojicha challenging personally. Just the flavor profile for me, it just doesn't hit the spot.
Oh, I've actually got a customer that brings in hojicha Basque cheesecake, and she puts salted caramel in there. Man, Nat, if you're listening, I would like another one when I'm back, because those things, I'm telling you, it's like a Mars bar on steroids.
Oh,
like,
damn.
Oh, it's just unbelievable.
Okay.
Unreal. Like these are versatile ingredients as well, which I think it's like really good for the coffee industry to start learning. Like these, because say for example with mixology or with being a chef, like I think you learn flavor pairings a lot better than making an espresso that hits certain parameters and you know what a good extraction is, right?
Yeah, totally. And I think like the signature drink movement also gives so much more space for creative. There's only so much creativity in kind of your wet dose, dry dose, extraction time, like grind size. Like it's either a good shot or it's not a good shot. But like the shout out to espresso though, by the way. Like it's still
One
a
of the
banging
OGs.
drink. Yeah.
It's the OG.
But I think the signature drink space gives so much more room for expression and gives shops the ability to build their own identity through the kinds of drinks that they offer.
I think it offers a good convergence into mixology as well.
Yeah.
Like I follow, and I'm planning to interview him soon, Dan Fellows.
Yes.
Like Dan Fellows' creations that he puts up are like, everyone should watch that. Like he's so talented. And the drinks that he does and the content that he makes are so awesome. Like I've made some at home. I'm like, damn.
Dan.
Yeah. But anyway, like I think there's like a really interesting convergence there. And I think like the baristas of the future will learn those skills and like be so much more valuable. Like I'm personally not that great at it.
Yeah.
It's something I definitely need to work on, but like the value has never been higher for that skill set.
Yeah.
And that ability.
Yeah, totally.
So shall we say number 2? Conscious indulgence.
Yes. Conscious indulgence. I mean, indulging consciously, right? So we're seeing massive trends towards consuming less alcohol, like especially in like the younger generations, like less alcohol, less caffeine as well. I think there's something going on around people consuming less caffeine at a time where decaf coffee quality is at an all-time high as well. Like there's something going on in the decaf space, and I may be a bit out of touch now, but like something has happened that means that decaf coffee is actually way tastier than it's ever been, and it means you can drink coffee and not stay up all night.
Yeah, well, I think baristas have actually come around on this as well, because of course everyone would know that baristas have always dreaded making it.
Yeah.
But there's like a substantial effort now. I think there's a bit of a cultural revolution in coffee in general from both consumers and from baristas to put more effort into decaf.
Yeah.
And I think one person that's leading the charge better than anyone right now is former world barista champion Pete Licata. So he's got a brand called Caffeine Control Coffee.
Yes.
And his motivation to do that was for his wife to continue drinking coffee during pregnancy.
Yeah.
And then also he had this realization that his own sleep was terrible, and because he was QCing coffee all day. And but there's also varieties of coffee that are low caffeine as well, like Lorena.
Yeah.
Which was there was a Lorena that won one of the categories for Best of Panama this year. So long story short, best of coffee and one of the best coffees in the world that's not geisha. And I got to try that and it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So yeah, I think you're exactly right. Decaf's having a big come up.
Yeah, and I think again this goes into in cultures where alcohol consumption has been traditionally a normal thing. We're definitely seeing less consumption of alcohol, and that again leads to kind of the creation of drinks that kind of fill that gap. We were talking also with your new executive producer earlier about how in the Middle East, in Dubai, like pub culture doesn't exist. So coffee shops fill that space, and you can't just smash 3-4 coffees. There has to be something other than coffee that doesn't have the same caffeine content that means you can sit and have that social moment without consuming an insane amount of caffeine.
I don't know how you Arab guys do it. You continue to drink coffee into the night, and it's really impressive. Like, is your sleep affected? Yeah. See, they just adapt. Like genetically, they've just adapted. Because in Dubai, like coffee shops get busy at 9 p.m. Like that's when they're getting their busiest.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm asleep at that time. Cafes are shut in Australia at like 3 p.m. But it's you're totally onto something there. Having that, like, the ritualistic effect of having a beverage.
Yeah.
I think coffee's encroaching on that space and taking over, what alcohol once was.
Yeah, and we're also seeing other places. There's a chain in Barcelona or in Spain that they're expanding into Europe called Good News. They offer lots of kind of functional additives that you can add to your drinks as well. So you're looking at like nootropics, like collagen boosters. Like there's lots of these other things that you can add into your drinks that provide some kind of additional health type benefit as well. So you're not just drinking. It's not just a drink anymore. It goes beyond into something that becomes a part of a healthier lifestyle as well. And I think there's also something around, and it's mentioned in the report as well. The idea that that health isn't just about like physical fitness. It's also the relationship between your mind and your body, and you need to have these moments, perhaps of indulgence, that feed the mind, which ultimately does control the body as well. So there's an interesting relationship there as well.
Last one, or next one, sorry. Fibre has entered the chat.
Yes.
I'm interested in this.
Yeah, fibre maxing. Protein's been the king of the castle for a long time. Like you see it in the supermarkets. Generally, it's like products in black packaging with the total number of grams of protein within that product. And we think, well, we're seeing fibre now being the thing that people are becoming more interested in consuming more, and it's kind of the nutrient that people don't consume enough of within daily diets as well. I mean, you're looking at vegetables, you're looking at grains, you're looking at like all of those things that have that the carbohydrate that helps gut health. And
all right, so number 4, destination drinks.
yes, this is a personal favorite of mine, and I think again it goes back to what I was talking about earlier about how cafes have now the opportunity to be more creative, to create, like, to build their own identity through the kinds of drinks that they sell. I mean, there's the very famous one within the coffee world, the Mont Blanc.
Yes. Is that so? Do you guys know about that? The venue in Melbourne that sells more. So I've actually got a really good story about this. So
Yeah.
I used to work for a milk company, so distributing.
No way.
Yeah. So,
Which one?
Riverina Fresh.
Oh yeah, of course.
So
the big one.
they're a big client of yours in Australia. So they produce dairy as well, and so one of their most sold products is cream.
Yeah.
And so I got a call one day from a cafe saying, "Oh, yeah, our current supplier doesn't make enough cream. They can't actually supply us enough for what we need. We've got this drink. It's kind of just popped off in the last few weeks. Do you think you can help?" It's like, yeah, sure. And it was really interesting to watch them just grow, because now I think they probably sell like 600-700 plus a day of these drinks. And it's to the point where it's actually the drink itself is a bit of a tourist attraction. You're talking about destination drinks like this. The premier, so the governor of the state of Victoria, where I live, it like literally was posting about it the other day, saying, "Come to Melbourne. One of our signature attractions is the Mont Blanc."
Incredible.
And they've done so well, and it's just a bunch of guys like my age that have started a business, and it's just got this perfect, like, everything just kind of perfectly came together, because it's got the look on appeal. So it's like obviously the filter coffee, that's iced filter coffee that they take a lot of effort to producing well.
Yeah.
To doing like the cream layer, which is non-thickened cream that they actually lightly whip with a whisk to pour on, and then, ground nutmeg and orange on top. Everything just kind of really converged, and timing worked as well. I think they just did it at the right time. To now, it's like, it's just a beast.
Yeah.
And it kicked off a lot of things for everyone in the industry. Those guys are kind of industry legends now.
Yeah, that massively. They've definitely inspired us as a team as well. Like the work that they've done with that drink.
Good Measure in Melbourne.
Yeah, big up Good Measure, because they charge good money for it as well, right? Like I've
It's like I think $9 Australian.
Yeah,
which is €4.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty good. It's good money as well. And if they're doing a couple hundred plus a day, like, it shows that there is a space and an opportunity to have a drink that people will travel to get. I think if we go a bit deeper on destination drinks as well, we start to look at drinks that are much more like of their place and of their space. So using ingredients that represent the local, whether it's country, whether it's culture, whether it's like whatever, like bringing something in that could only be made in that place and in that space. It's kind of it's a little bit the antithesis of the global flavor exchange, but also being this like hyper local thing that uses ingredients that are super local.
Australia's got these wonderful native ingredients that I think the world needs to know more about, like, wattle seed. It's like halfway between maple syrup and pecans or something.
Whoa.
Really, really amazing ingredient. Lemon myrtle. It's like this really herbaceous lemon leaf. Strawberry gum. Like if anyone's listening to this around the world, like really look up native Australian ingredients, because they if you're looking to put some in your drinks, like they will elevate it.
Yeah.
So
we should talk after this about maybe we set up a small export company for some of these ingredients. They sound incredible.
Okay, yeah. I got you. But they truly are incredible. And then the big one. I think this is the big one. The future of matcha.
Yeah.
And we were talking, Majid and I, this morning about how a German legend, Dritten Alsala, recently, he's been on one about matcha. He's not a fan.
No.
He thinks it doesn't belong in a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Which I vehemently disagree with, because like I get it's not for everyone.
No.
And not every coffee shop should have it. It's not mandatory.
No.
But I think cafes of the future that want to ensure their own sustainability and viability, if they offer it well, like it kind of is going to be part of the composition of things that you sell that will actually keep you afloat.
Yeah.
And that's not to say everyone should have it, but like doing it well is incredibly rewarding.
Yeah, I think so. And I think there's so much more left in matcha to explore. Like we're seeing all kinds of weird and wild and wonderful kind of matcha creations, which I think is something that will potentially peak and then pass. But I think matcha itself is very much here to stay as part of, whether it's the specialty coffee scene, whether it's the broader, bigger coffee scene at large. There's always, I think, going to be space for something like matcha. One of the interesting things I think is talking to a lot of coffee shop owners, proprietors, managers, whatever. Like hot coffee is still the same size in the morning, still the same. You're still selling the same number of drinks to the same number of people, by and large. But then the matcha peak in service comes a bit later in the day. So you have your coffee peak in sales, and then later you have another matcha peak in sales as well. And I think in order for the continuation of the viability of hospitality, we need to create more moments like having the two big peaks in service.
This episode is brought to you by the future. Oatly had experts look into the future, which is totally possible, by the way, and then report back about what things will taste like when we get there. Learn about bold ideas, the dawn of decaf, and the rise of Fibre in the Future of Taste report on Oatly.com. What I find so interesting about everything this report kind of assesses and what's happening in the industry is how quickly things evolve in the coffee industry. And it's in terms of in like the culinary world, I feel like coffee, the rate of change is so much more than anything else right now. Like with food, like I don't really see the food industry having been changed at quite the pace that the cafe industry has, like coffee drinks have, signature drinks have. In recent memory, just the rate of change is just so extreme.
Yeah, it's exciting, right? Like I think it's incredibly exciting, and I think the part of the reason why it's changing is because consumers are changing, and the things that they want to consume are changing. We were talking a bit before about how cold drinks have been massively on the rise, and it's something that's incredibly well documented. There's some pretty big global players out there that are serving increasing, like dramatically increasing percentages of cold drinks within their business. And that's so consumer led. And the reason I think it's consumer led is because you look at the setup that they have within their shop. You have like the bar, the coffee machine, the position of the till is perfect for serving hot drinks. And then to serve a cold drink, ice drink, whatever, like it either goes down the back bar or it does like a weird zigzag across the front and back bars as you're collecting all the ingredients to get into that. And I see a potential for a big shift in the industry for bar design to change and update and be something that is actually more fit for the future.
This is something that we definitely wanted to talk about here because you're on one right now, because the functionality for these things is so important. Like sometimes at some places that I've worked at, you have to do like a mini cross country to go to make a cold drink. So you got to run to the ice machine or run to the fridge. And I think you're right. Like the coffee bar of the future, or the drinks bar of the future, we probably shouldn't even call it a coffee bar, is going to be, it needs to be built for purpose. Like having your ice bucket close to you so you can quickly just scoop and not have to bend down and crouch and into an ice machine, or, you know, run to the back of the room. Having like jug rinsers or things that can like rinse a matcha whisk bowl and things like that readily, or having plumbed in hot filtered water so you can actually quickly pour water into your matcha and then whisk it if that's how you do it. Like the functionality of drinks bars, let's call them, I think that's going to be one of the keys to having a successful operating business in the future.
Yeah, I saw an interview with Andrew Tolley recently, who talked about the idea of having, if he were to open bars now, a coffee shop now, he would have kind of the ice well being the central part of the bar, with what he called the mise en place, which I think is a really great way of describing all of the ingredient preparation that you need around you, so you can just make and serve drinks in a way more efficient manner. And I think again, this goes back to like there's a real opportunity for shops to start to carve again their own identity and their own positioning based on the drinks that they serve and how they serve them.
It's interesting when you were saying that, it kind of made me think that baristas, because there's no actual qualification anywhere in the world to become a barista, like there's zero meaningful qualification. But the same can't be said of being a chef, right? So like if you're a chef in Australia, for example, it goes through an apprenticeship, so it's 4 years of learning, and they learn all sorts of things about food prep and obviously the better environment. Then things like mise en place, like having things close to you and like structuring your work environment. You never actually get taught that as a barista, even though it's one of the most important skills you could have. And I just think like talking to you about this right now made me think maybe it'd be great for a barista to even, you know, go work under a chef to learn some of these things.
Yeah, or a cocktail bar. Like I think cocktail. I think we have a lot to learn from the cocktail industry about some of these things. I think I spend a lot of time. I don't spend a lot of time in cocktail bars. That makes it sound like I live this incredibly decadent life of drinking cocktails. But when I am in cocktail bars, I spend a lot of time looking at the flow of how they make drinks, because they have often long and complex menus, or maybe not even long and complex menus, but also they offer the classics. You can't have a cocktail bar that doesn't really offer the classics. So they need to have all of these things in easy access. And a lot of cocktail bars are quite small and cramped. Like you almost wouldn't put a coffee bar behind, you wouldn't turn that bar into a coffee bar because it's so small, yet the number and volume of drinks that they're able to deliver from such a small space is really interesting. And I think this is something that baristas are learning already as well. I think we're seeing a lot of experimentation. I mean, in Europe, like Prague, Barcelona are two cities that are doing a lot with signature drinks already, and I'm seeing a lot of experimentation in those places. I've not been lucky enough to go to Australia, but you've talked a lot about how interesting and exciting the signature drink offering is there. I mean, the Middle East as well. Like there's a lot of knowledge building very quickly to be able to service this new direction and new movement that the industry will take.
And fitting this within a context of how you actually build your bar as well. Like, and we were talking about, and I'm going to actually send a request off for sponsorship to Hoshizaki after this because the quality of ice matters so much to the quality of your drink. And and this is one of the biggest things that when I opened my cafe that I knew that I wanted to serve lots of cold drinks, and it just like to paint a picture for you all. Like if you have good quality ice and you make an ice latte with it, a customer can go if they're the type of coffee drinker that drinks that very slowly, it will dilute over a much longer period of time. So it just won't melt as easily. And it won't dilute the drink, which means it will taste better. And if you've got a good ice machine, you can actually serve a lot of people. Australia's quite a hot country. So during summer, you get an influx of people that want to buy an iced latte, and you might have to run to a general store to go and grab ice, which consequently isn't as good. So one of the best investments you can make for your cafe in 2025 is in a quality ice machine. Yeah. Hoshizaki, I'm going to hit you up. I'm going to hit you up. I mentioned it so much.
Yeah.
Agree?
Yeah. No, hard agree. And it's something that I mentioned this new part of the team that we're building, which is around drinks development and taking these trends and developing recipes around them. One of the things we learned very early was ice makes a massive difference. We bought a small, relatively cheap ice machine because we knew that we needed ice to develop some of these drinks and some of these recipes. And immediately we all kind of decided that the ice is too melty this can't describe it in any other way, but it's just melty ice from this machine. So now we're looking at different ways of getting ice purely for the drinks development that we're doing in-house for recipes.
Would you consider a Hoshizaki?
I need to look it up. Do they do the UK? Yeah, do they distribute in the UK?
They would.
Yeah.
I'm sure they would, but if not, Hoshizaki, I'm
There's a sale right here.
I'm doing business development for you right now. But it's totally worth doing. Yeah. Especially at a research capacity. Then like the effects are just. I mean, I could talk about it for hours. Yeah. I could talk about it for literally hours.
Should get them on the pod.
Yeah, well, it's a Japanese company.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're quite onto me yet.
Yeah,
but
they should be.
They should be. So what else are you cooking up? So we're actually in Berlin right now for this event, and do you want to talk us through that?
Yeah. So tomorrow we're launching the Future of Taste report. And in conjunction with that, we're also launching the new lookbook. So we're talking a lot about trends and drinks trends, and a lot of it needs to be visually appealing as well as the actual taste. So we kind of sat and scratched our heads for a bit to look around at like where can we take inspiration from, and who does kind of trends and refreshing trends and pushing things forwards quickly better than the fashion industry. So we thought about borrowing from the fashion industry, but I think we've just wholesale stolen the concept of a lookbook from the fashion industry. So every 6 months we take the inputs that we have from the Barista Market Developer team around what they're seeing and the trends that are popping up in their areas, and then we use those and combine them in different and interesting ways to create drinks that are an expression of that trend. And we publish it in a lookbook every 6 months. The idea isn't necessarily that we'll see the drinks themselves out in the world. It's more like an example of how you can combine different trends in order to make different drinks. I think more as I would love for it to inspire rather than instruct.
Yeah, well, it's interesting that companies like you have taken an interest in it, because it'll be so easy to fall behind if you don't. And I think like the industry is pretty on to the fact that now if you're doing signature drinks, there's a big benefit for you. Like it'd be interesting to know what level of market share they now account for, because you part of what you would find in this report is like younger people are definitely more inclined to buy these newer, more experimental drinks that people just enjoy, and they are like a what would you call it, a conscious indulgence. They're a conscious indulgence. Sorry, the text is a bit small in this thing, but it really is. And like, what is that? Where you're finding the biggest demographic is for this?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's definitely younger people. I think I have this conversation a lot with a lot of different people. I find that not to generalize and stereotype, but men of a certain age get very worried that we're coming for their flat whites.
Mm-hmm.
We're not coming for flat white, like the flat white.
So the flat white's safe.
The flat white is safe. Like we're not coming for it. It's going to be around for forevermore. But it's more about like we're seeing the bigger global coffee operators have been growing this part of their business over the last couple of years through consumer demand. I think there's a risk that specialty coffee, if we don't, I mean, specialty coffee originally, one of the origins of specialty coffee is a response to that big multinational global coffee phenomena, and taking coffee and treating it as a delicate raw material that we should celebrate the origins of the coffee versus roasting it in order to get the homogenized flavor all over the world year in, year out. And I think we should do something within our space that kind of is a response to the ice drinks that we're seeing in the bigger players. And I think we have a really interesting opportunity to really push like some experimental drinks and create something really interesting and exciting. And I think that's what consumers are looking for more now than ever. They're looking for experimental drinks. They're looking for something different. There's still kind of hot lattes and iced lattes there as the safety net, but often now where we're working with some of our closest customers, we're seeing that like the more interesting things that they put on their menus, the more revenue they're generating from those kinds of drinks on top of what they were already selling. And I think hospitality is famously on a knife edge when it comes to, are you going to make it or not make it? It's like it's razor thin all the time. And I think we should lean into any opportunity to be able to do something interesting and build a more exciting movement.
To that end, knowing what you know now, having done the job you've done for the last however many years, if you're let's put a hypothetical scenario here. If you're opening a cafe in 2025, how are you doing it?
That is a good question. I think the big things that I would do, I mean, we've talked a lot about bar setup, but I would focus heavily on takeaway. I think takeaway. Yeah, I'd focus heavily on takeaway. I think a lot of how I see the visual element of a lot of these drinks. I mean, if you look at matcha as well, it's more than just a drink to be consumed. It's become an accessory again. Like for a long time, a small flat white cup was an accessory. It was the thing to be seen to have is this tiny paper takeaway cup.
Matcha and a labubu.
Oh yeah. Labubus. Damn. But yeah, so I'd focus on takeaway. I'd have a really interesting signature drink menu. I would do. Personally, I'm a huge filter coffee drinker, so I would probably heavily focus more on kind of a really good batch brew and a really good kind of filter coffee, because then it's like that leans a bit more into speed and ease of service and and also that reflects me as as a coffee consumer. I'd want to open the space that I would want to go to. Yeah, and I think just having an interesting signature drinks menu, and then lots of Oatly, of course.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. Absolutely. The World Barista Championship is coming up in like a few days from now. So it's probably almost a week away. So that'll be at Host in Milan. Yes. You're going to be there?
I'm not going to be there. Some of my team, some of my colleagues will be there.
What do you think will be some of the, because Host Milan's one of the biggest hospitality and related products exhibitions in the world.
Yeah.
So what do you think people from, and let's not confine it to coffee here, what do you think all these people from all these different businesses, they could be selling bloody pizza ovens for what I know, like what do you think will be one of the biggest focuses there?
I think automation is going to be a big thing that will be a big focus. I think like we're seeing it in pockets, bigger pockets of the industry, lots of like bean to cup machines. I think the quality of some of those machines has stepped up massively over the last few years. Again, it's not necessarily designed to replace a fully manual espresso machine that's operated by a highly skilled barista, but I think the expectation for quality coffee is now so high that there has to be good coffee about, like office coffee is better, hotel coffee is better. In some places, gas station coffee is better than it's ever been, like, which gas station coffee infamously is terrible.
I actually had a really, really great coffee at the airport in Doha the other day. And I was like surprised. I was like, damn, this is really nice.
Yeah. Like you expect coffee to be better in more places and there's not enough of a pool of skilled baristas to be able to service all of those coffee making opportunities. So I think automation, I think also around, I think fast food does it quite well. The whole like customer placing their own order. I think that's something that we'll continue to see more of as well. I think automation is going to be a big.
It's interesting on that last point you made about like self-serve kind of style options. Cause like in Melbourne, I think people are so 50-50 on it. There's some people that definitely take it up and like online ordering on the phone.
Yeah.
There's definitely the type of person that loves to do that. But I think for the most part, there's still like a huge cohort of people for our shop, and there's a majority of cohort of people that still want to line up and be served and, you know, have their name remembered and all that sort of stuff. So it's an interesting mix.
Yeah, totally. And I think that is a part of where specialty coffee does set itself apart, is that very much that human touch and that human nature. And I think going back to the signature drinks conversation as well, like I think that the drinks are a reflection of the people within the business, and it's the people that are interesting. And I think that's where we need to give the space to is definitely the people.
Because I remember when like there was the concept of a lot of automation happening like 7 or 8 years ago. I think a lot of people were quite fearful of what it would do for like, you know, employment, for example. And I think actually from what's actually happened is that all these new pieces of technology have been developed and they haven't taken people's jobs away. They've just really assisted them in doing it. For example, like volumetric or gravimetric coffee machines. So having a coffee machine that shuts off the shot at the right time. I mean, who's mad at that?
Yeah.
The Uber milk.
Yeah.
So shout out to Barista Group in Australia, who are also sponsoring the podcast. So the Uber milk automatically dispenses steamed milk, and they're just releasing a version of that now, which can do 5 milks. So you think, you know, if the modern cafe has to have a bunch of different milks, there's now machinery that can steam it all. And I don't think I've ever met a barista that's like, I don't enjoy working with that piece of machinery, because it just makes the job so much better. And like, who really wants to be hunched over steaming milk, getting a, you know, permanent neck injury? Like, all these different things, and I think they all complement a barista job rather well. Yeah. And in Australia, we're in a position, I can't speak for anywhere else in the world, but we're in a position where there aren't actually enough baristas for the amount of jobs that there are. Like there's a skills shortage there.
100%.
So having technology that assists is actually essential.
Yeah. Yeah. And all of these things that you're taking away in inverted commas from the barista. I mean, puck press being another tool means that the barista has more capacity to do the human interaction part, which is why I became a barista, which is why I think a lot of people fall into coffee, end up staying in coffee, is because of the rich tapestry of people that you get to meet throughout the process. But it's also why people keep coming back to coffee shops as well, is because they have their favorite shop, their favorite baristas, the favorite vibe. Like, it could be the playlist, it could be the whatever it is that customers connect to. It's a very human thing.
Yeah, all these things they've ever done is like just make things so much easier. And like, if I'm to give a real life analogy, I played one of my favorite games growing up was Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the PlayStation 2. It like the amount of moments I've had in that game that are just so awesome. But I actually played it with a friend earlier this year again, and like, you compare it to a modern game, it's just like, obviously it's a lot slower. You know, there's not as many things you can do. The movement's not as great. Whereas you play the modern game and it's like, geez, everything moves so freely. It's so much easier to do things. The menu is easier to manage, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, a coffee bar is kind of adjusted like that as well. Like where we did manual tampering before and, you know, potentially injured our wrist. Now there's the puck press.
Yeah.
Where you potentially had screwed up your shots because you didn't time it right with the manual timer. Now there's volumetric coffee machines. And then you get to the milk section where it's automatically dispensing milk that's perfectly textured, better than a human can do it, without extra water as well, which is very valuable. It's just all these valuable things that have like augmented the industry and only made it better. I think a lot of the hysteria around it at the time has been completely disproven.
Yeah.
So
totally. I need to make a quick plug also. We've recently developed a new barista edition, or a new version of Barista Edition that we're calling Barista Matic, which is formulated to work with automatic machinery and works with
like a new oat milk?
It's Barista Edition, but it's an ever so slightly adapted recipe so that you can use it with automatic steaming machines. So you can get that on button.
Yeah, right.
Uber milk and
I think the big obstacle there is like the sediment or whatever you call it that settles to the bottom. So then it gets kind of like there's problems with filters and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So Barista Matic. It's not yet in Australia, but
coming.
Hopefully one day. Yeah.
Well, the uptake of machines there is quite high. So I think you do well. Quick shout out to the oat cream as well. Severely underrated. My girlfriend is of Indian descent, which, you know, and so like at home, I eat a lot of curry, make a lot of dals and stuff like that. And sometimes, you know, thick cream, it doesn't always do it for me because like, you know, again, just feels a bit heavy. Cooking curries with that oat cream is phenomenal. And I actually use it to add volume to the matcha that we do in the shop because we pre-prepare our matcha in batches.
Yeah.
So if you get your like Oatly 1 liter, 250 mils of the oat cream, get the matcha in there, it just makes it so much more rich, like gives it a lot more body because those additional fats and stuff like that, like some people think it's a bit of a naughty word, but that's actually what gives your drink its texture, its flavor.
Yeah.
And so using that, it's been awesome.
Yeah, I think mouthfeel is such an underrated kind of sensory moment that we don't look at enough when kind of designing drinks and making drinks. I think mouthfeel is so important because that's, I don't know. I
The
love
tactile
it.
experiences, they're very valuable.
Yeah, I'm obsessed.
Yeah, well, but it's interesting you say that because like it's one of the subconscious feelings that I don't think is really someone's criteria going into, let's say, having a coffee, like or a matcha, because you drink it and you're probably doing it for flavor. But I think it's one of those subconscious things, like the delivery of it to you, like the way it sort of hits your mouth. I even think straws, you know, are one of these big things that we probably don't rate enough as well. Like, because since the world's had to go away from plastic straws, you know, there's been all these new ones. So it's not only like, does a paper straw kind of do it for you or not, but is the width of the straw like the correct length. And having those like wider straws is actually like, I think awesome. And something we've started doing at my cafe. And like, one of the real life examples is you can blend your strawberry puree to like have chunks in it. And then, you can still get it all in the straw without causing a blockage, then drink it, get a little chunk in there, delivers the tactile component, you get the flavor, you get the strawberry in there as well. Like straws is probably like an underrated part of the discussion we haven't had yet.
Yeah, I would quite happily only use boba straws for the rest of my life. Like something with that like massive diameter, I think just if I'm having a drink, just deliver it to me as quickly as possible with as much texture in it still.
Yeah. I'm 100% agree. And like the amount of I think it's sugarcane is like one of the new materials that they're able to use that's more sustainable.
Big fan.
Thank goodness, because the paper ones, like, just not doing it for me. Not doing it for me. But what's one thing where we haven't spoken about that you would like? This is a question I ask each guest at the end of the podcast. What's one thing that we haven't spoken about that you would like to enlighten the listener on before we wrap up?
Oh, wow. What is one thing that we haven't spoken about that I'd like to enlighten the listener? I think I've mentioned the lookbook. I think maybe.
Is it going to be publicly published, by the way?
Yeah. So we'll work out a way. It'll be online. So we'll work out a way for you to share that link perhaps. But within the lookbook, there is 18 different drinks that are the manifestation of different trends. There's one in there that is salted egg custard latte, which is based on seeing lots of salted egg custard things coming out of China and East Asia, particularly like salted egg custard steamed baos.
Oh, you get me hungry.
And they're so good, but it's that like sweet, salty, custardy, slightly eggy kind of flavor, and we've taken that and basically turned it into a layered drink that has like a salted egg custardy cold foam, all plant based. Like we've really done our work on this. So that drink specifically is one that I would really like to give a shout out to. It's in the lookbook. We'll work out a way to share it with your audience. And I'd love for everyone to just go and look at the photo of that drink.
I had a mooncake the other day.
Oh, mooncake season is upon us.
My girlfriend, one of her friends is Chinese, and they went and made mooncakes together. Now, this is have you had a mooncake before? Oh man, like I had it for the first time. Phenomenal.
Yeah,
absolutely phenomenal. Like so yum. But it sounds like you could call it liquid mooncake.
Yeah, it is delicious.
Is that what's the name of it actually called?
Salted egg custard latte.
All right, got to change it to in the next edition. Liquid mooncake.
Liquid mooncake.
That would be my submission.
Well, who knows? Maybe mooncake will be one of the next trends.
Yep. No, it could be. Could be the like the Asian diaspora in Melbourne, particularly. Like I think Melbourne coffee shops are fueled by international students.
Yeah.
Like we have it. Like tertiary education is one of the biggest exports in Australia. So like people coming and studying at our universities and things like that. And the makeup of that is like a lot of people from China, Korea, Japan, and India. Yeah. And like that cohort of people, I think, are keeping coffee shops in business. Good measure, just around the corner from Melbourne University. So you can kind of see that when you go to the store, like huge tourist attraction, but like they were just in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, incredible. And I think that's it. It's the right students are the right age as well, right? That's the age of consumer that we're talking about as being the ones that are looking for something different.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that perfect demographic. Yeah. But
cool.
we got a fair bit to do in the next couple of days. I know you've got an event to prepare for, so I won't keep you much longer. I will give a shout out to one of our other sponsors, Timor, who's supporting the trip and supporting the show. They've been with us since day dot. So timor.com. If you're looking for kettles, hand grinders, electric grinders, you name it, timor.com. Look for a local distributor near you. Toby, been so good to have you on the coffee show, and thanks for everything in your hospitality here in Berlin. I love Berlin. I'm going to go see the Parliament building, I think, later tonight and go for a walk around there. So looking forward to it. It's a great city.
Yeah, it's an amazing city. I love it. But yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for hosting. Thank you for having me.
And I look forward to trying all these drinks tomorrow.
Yes, it's going to be fun.
All right, well, that'll do us for today, everyone. Thanks again to our executive producer, Majid MTA. You'll find him on Instagram. But that's about all we have time for. So, hooroo, ladies and gentlemen. You can either listen to the third Oatly ad of the day about how you can go to oatly.com and find recipes for the amazing drinks, or read the Future of Taste report. It's from the future. Or learn about the sustainability work. Or you can press the 15-sec forward button on your pod playing device. It's totally up to you.